was mainly doing family law. I thought this would be the best way to help. And it was actually the driving force behind my decision to become a lawyer. And I had even chosen my law school based on the fact that I had a passion for family law. And then after I graduated and began practicing family law, it was not at all what I thought it would be. In fact, my very first trial, I went home and I just cried and bawled like a baby. And it's been over a decade since that time. And I still remember how horrible it felt to realize that I had assisted in putting a child in danger instead of helping a child, which is what I went to law school to do. I also found that I gave payment plans that were so low that I had to take on a lot of cases. And, I'm talking so low, like $250 a month. And yeah, most clients would pay while the case was going on, and then when the case was over, they would stop paying their bill and they would leave owing thousands of dollars. And so I essentially felt like I was working for free, and it was my own family that was suffering. At first, I started looking at other practice areas, and then I did think about just quitting the law completely. I thought about being a dog trainer, and I used to be a behavior therapist for autistic children. I thought about going back to that. Then I saw an ad on Facebook for new law, and I read Allie's book, Wear Clean Underwear. I was on the DRIP campaign for quite a while and finally decided to reach out. And toward the beginning of the program, I was still undecided about whether estate planning was for me, and I didn't really view estate planning as helping people. And again, that was my main goal of becoming an attorney, was to help people.
But then something happened that dramatically changed your perception about estate planning, right? Can you share more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife at the time had a relatively minor procedure, one she had had many times in the past, so I didn't really think anything of it. Normally everything was fine. And then this time she said that she just wasn't feeling right, and she lost feeling in her legs. She ended up essentially paralyzed from the waist down. I called an ambulance. She went to the hospital. They ran tests, a CT scan. They couldn't find the source of the problem. They thought maybe the doctor had hit a nerve when they did it. And then the next day, later, her fever went up to 106.1. And yeah, and then the next day they did the CT scan again, a little bit lower. And that's where they found the problem, which was that she had an infection at the very base of her spine. And they came in and they told us that she wasn't going to make it, and to make sure that her will and her advance directive were up to date. And the feelings that I felt in that moment of the family part, right? That's obviously huge, but also the feeling of being a failure as both an attorney and a husband and a father for not having my own plan in place. And in that moment, I realized how important estate planning actually is, because it can happen to anyone at any time. What I did was I leaned into new law. There are so many modules that we have access to regarding everything from all of the different pillars that you talked about, and also estate planning. And there's also estate planning 101 to start with the basics. And then as you continue to grow and you're able to do more advanced planning, there are more advanced webinars and modules that you can take. And so you really learn what you need as far as estate planning. So when I first saw new law and I saw the fees that they were saying that we could get, I was like, well, that's not going to work, especially in my area. I'm in Alabama, maybe that works for her in California, which was where she was at the time. It's like, it may work in California, it's not going to work here. And I was shocked when I followed the scripts, presented the fees, and people didn't bat an eye. And at that time, when I first started, my trust plans ranged from $4,000 to $6,000. Now my trust plans range from $5,000 to $7,000, and over 90% of our clients get the $7,000 plan. Occasionally we'll have someone at a lower range plan, and occasionally we'll have someone at the upper range of 10,000. But generally speaking, over 90% of our clients engage at that $7,000 plan. For me, I was only able to serve about 4 to 5 clients per month as a true solo. But what that did was, once I had all of the systems in place and my average fee was high enough, that I was able to bring that money in, use that to hire other people, And it just kept growing and growing. And so we very recently have increased our ability to serve clients per month. And so now our average is about 22 clients per month. And this upcoming month, we have, I think, 36 spots available on our calendar with 25 of them filled
Excellent.
already. So it just keeps growing. And then the more people that we are able to educate in the community, the more we're able to help those people. And the more we help those people, they send their family and friends to us and to our seminars. We educate them, bring them in. And then the more we're able to grow our business, the more people I'm able to hire. And it's just an awesome cycle that has been made possible by new law.